I'm so excited to be here with you guys and to get to chat with you. I kind of have a couple of different things that I wanted to tie together, just to share that I've been talking with my team a lot about. And it sounds like we kind of have similar cultures on our team. We might start our team calls talking about The Bachelorette too. So, but I'm excited. I want to talk with you guys mostly about vision, attraction marketing, and Success Club in a different way that I think has been really helpful for this point in my team's growth. So first, let me just give you kind of a little bit of tidbit backstory about me. So like Joan said, I've been a coach. Technically, I've been a coach since September of 2013, but I didn't run my first challenge group until January 2014. So I sat there as a discount coach, convincing myself all the reasons why I shouldn't be a coach. At the time, I was a project manager at an IT company in Seattle, and I was just like working my way up the corporate ladder. I had this awesome team that I was managing, and I really just thought that this wasn't a real job. Just to be honest, I was like, this is not like a real job. People can't actually do this as their full-time job. And then it was about 6 months. I still did it anyway, and it was more as like a side hobby the first 6 months. I really thought about this as like something that I could do to impact people when my job was in IT project management. So I wasn't like feeling like what I was doing was really, I was passionate about it. And I just didn't feel like what I was doing was fulfilling this purpose in me, without getting all like mushy gushy about that. That was basically how I felt. So I did this as a side thing. Went to Summit 6 months into coaching. How many of you guys, like that I can see your hands up, did you go to Summit? Did you guys go? Yeah. Okay. A lot of people did. Awesome. Yeah. And it was Alicia in IT? Holla. Anyway, so I went to Summit 6 months as a coach. I was a diamond ring coach with all discount coaches that I had kind of like jerry-rigged my diamond. And I sat there and I saw my coach and another coach in the network speaking about doing this full time. And I remember thinking, because my coach is Brigitte Linford, and she was a stay-at-home mom who built her business. And I thought, that's cool, but she wasn't working in a full-time corporate job. So I didn't relate to her as much. Loved her. I'm obsessed with her. But I didn't relate to her journey. And it was Christina Delgado who was talking about leaving as a partner in a law firm to be a full-time coach. And I was like, dude, like people actually do this as their full-time jobs. Like I could do this. I could totally do this. So it was kind of that point in. The reason I'm sharing this is going to correlate kind of back to what I'm talking about. But it was that point, basically 6 months into coaching, that I said, I am going to build this into a full-time income. My boyfriend and I were at the time moving from Seattle to New York City for him to go to NYU dental school. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this job. Like I'm going to build this business on the side while I work full time. At that time I switched and was actually working at Google out here in New York. I was like, I'm going to build this business on the side until I can surpass my income. However long it takes me, I don't care. I'm doing this. And then 10 months after that, I left Google to do this full time. So I think a lot of the reason why our team saw the growth that we had, and I had this like vision of what this could be like, comes from a lot of the things that I'm going to talk with you guys about right now. But it's kind of crazy because I think one of the things that is most powerful about this business, and I'm sure you guys talk about this all the time, so if I'm repeating things that you've heard, my apologies, but it's, Joan and I probably have similar messages that we say to you guys. But I think one of the biggest things is having a vision, not of just, I want to help people, but a deeper vision that you can connect to. Like oftentimes you'll hear like the why that makes you cry, or just that deep fulfillment that you're looking for from being a coach that's bigger than just, I want to help people. And in addition to knowing your own, it's actually visualizing what it's going to feel like. So for me, that first vision was, what's it going to feel like when this is my full-time corporate job? And if I want to, I can jump on a plane and I can fly anywhere in the world that I want to. If I don't want to set my alarm clock, even just on a Monday morning, like what's that going to feel like to have ultimate freedom? And I would put little Post-it notes around our apartment and like write on my whiteboard, what's it actually going to feel like? Because it's one thing to say it. I have a lot of coaches that are like, I want to quit my full-time job. And that's great. And that's important. But why? Like, what is it going to feel like to you? So you can actually resonate that feeling. So not only knowing that for yourself, but then in turn, knowing that for the coaches that you enroll in this business. Because most of the time, what I've seen in my experience is that coaches say they want to be a coach because they want to help people. That's great. If you don't want to help people, you should probably just quit right now because you're going to really suck at this job. But just being honest. I also drop a little bit of truth bombs, so hopefully I don't offend anyone. But honestly, I think it has to be something deeper. And one thing that I really connect with my coaches on is really finding like what that thing is for them. That's a little bit scary to say out loud. It doesn't necessarily even have to be that they want this to be their full-time job. Like I have a coach that is a teacher and she loves teaching, and she makes twice her income teaching or with Beachbody than she does teaching, but she loves teaching and she wants to keep going back to school. Totally fine. But we had to kind of find a connection of like, what is it that you really want? And she's, it went back to like in her childhood, like her parents losing her house, like just like a deep thing, and working with your coaches to eventually find that. Because when things get hard, when you're struggling to hit Success Club, when you're getting coach cancellation after coach cancellation, I get that, Joan gets that, we all get that, right? Where you feel like, what the heck am I doing here? And how am I going to like stay in this? You have to know, not just for yourself, but for those leaders on your team, for those coaches that you enrolled into the business, and for your challengers, really connecting to that vision of like, not just I want to lose 10 pounds, but what is it going to feel like when those jeans that you wanted to wear on that date night with your spouse that you haven't gone on in 2 months because you don't feel confident in yourself, when those fit and you're like, let's go out, honey, like, what is that going to feel like versus what is it going to look like on a scale? So I think there's so much power in that, and it's kind of like a hocus pocus, like fluffy concept. So I'm going to give you some more tangible things for attraction marketing and Success Club. But I think it's really important just to kind of have that in the back of your head constantly, because you're always going to have times that you're going to doubt yourself. You're going to doubt your leadership abilities. Your coaches are going to doubt themselves, and you're going to have to be able to plug back into like, I get it. You had a coach cancel. I get it. Your selfie got 1 like on Facebook, whatever. No one wanted to join your challenge group. You posted a challenge group and people didn't come flooding in to join your group. I get it. But who cares? Because that is just a drop in the bucket in terms of what you're actually here to do on a bigger purpose. So as soon as you can get your coaches, and more importantly, yourself first, to that point where you can really connect to that reason, you're going to stay here. And you're going to stay here through all the seasons. You're going to stay here through the times when it doesn't feel like anyone wants to join your group, or Facebook changes their algorithms and you're all freaking out that all your stuff isn't getting traction. You're going to stay through that time because you're so connected to something bigger. And I don't know what that is for you personally, but you'll have to ask yourself that and take the time to actually break it down. Like, what does it feel like? What are you wearing in a certain moment? Like, that sounds super corny, but for me, my next goal is to pay my boyfriend's way through NYU dental school, and that's $300,000 worth of tuition before he graduates. So we're working on that in big chunks. And I know exactly what I'm going to be wearing when he walks across the stage to get his diploma. And we have been together for 7.5 years, and we're not married. And I don't want to get married until we have debt free. So I'm like, if you want to get married, you need to be off this debt first. So I picture this red cutout dress that I'm wearing when he walks across the stage, and I can actually like visualize it. I'm probably going to buy one soon so I can hang it up and put it on my wall. But honestly, it's that kind of clarity towards your goals, because other things don't get in your way and steer you off course when you know really what you want. So that's a little bit fluffy. So that will connect with maybe like the whites and the people that love that. For the project managers that come from a background that's like, just tell me like tangible things, I'll hit you a little bit too. So one thing that I think that has helped me in this business, as well as a lot of coaches on my team, see success, is by taking out the mindset of the scarcity mentality and the blanket statements that we put on Facebook, especially as a newer coach, or when you're kind of freaking out that you haven't hit Success Club and it's the end of the month, or you're thinking like, I'm in a team cut group and I want to sell like a bazillion challenge packs. Putting out these statements of like, I will take anyone in my group that wants to join my group. Putting these blanket statements out that aren't actually channeling into a specific niche market. So I talk to my team often about like, who are you actually visualizing when you're writing your Facebook post? Who is that ideal person that you really want to help in your challenge group? Who is that ideal person that you want to have on, exactly, yeah, needed that, who is that ideal person that you want to have as a coach on your team, and talk to them and visualize them in every single post that you're doing. So for example, for me, I think of the person who has similar objections to me. So I constantly think about, now that I'm 2.5 years into the business building, I think about the girl that was hesitant to join a challenge group And then I think about all of the reasons why. And then I think about the girl who was hesitant to sign up as a discount coach and all of the reasons why. And then I think about the girl who was hesitant to build a business and what her fears were. So for example, my team and I like do this all the time. Thinking about your objections and using them as posts publicly so you can really hone in on your niche target market. For me, I was, like I said, an IT project manager. My biggest concerns with building this business were time. And I talk about time often in my Facebook posts publicly, where I say, I didn't think I had time for this. I talk about how I fit in my workouts when I don't feel like I have time when I'm traveling, and make it applicable to my target market when their concern is time. In addition, my concern was I was really worried about what other people's perspective of me was going to be, because I had this corporate job that I really prided myself in, and I had a lot of issues with identifying myself with my job title, and that my identity was wrapped in like, oh, I'm this project manager overseeing this team, I'm so cool. When in reality, we know that doesn't really matter at all. But I was worried about other people's perception of me doing this weird MLM Beachbody weird thing. I thought that people were going to think that I was weird. So I talk about that all the time. I talk about how I was scared that I wasn't going to know how to build a business, and I was going to be doing something that was completely unknown to me. My target market thinks about that too. They think about the same things that I think about, which is I've never had a six-pack in my entire life. I really like wine, but I also really like balance. And so I talk to those people. I'm probably not going to attract someone who necessarily wants to do a bikini competition and count their macros, but I am going to attract the person who wants to do 21-day fix upper and then go drink a glass of wine afterwards. Like, I know who I'm trying to attract, and I'm talking to that niche market specifically. And I think sometimes we get scared to abandon the broad and go for the niche. But I found so many times that I get people that will reach out to me or that I'll connect with and invite them to join one of my groups, and they know so much about my story and they connect with me like I'm talking to them. So I talk about the moment of getting ready to go out with girlfriends and like crying in my closet, feeling like I don't want to be the needy girl that's having body image issues. Like, I want to be the fun, outgoing girl. I'm not that girl that's like sad inside about my body. So I talk to that publicly, because my objections are the same reasons that another girl that I would attract into my business wouldn't want to join me either, because she's worried about the same things. She doesn't want to be a coach because she thinks that people aren't going to want her as a coach because she doesn't have a health and fitness background. So I often talk about how I don't have a health and fitness background. The point is, I guess, of like all of that I talk with my team about so often is like basically just thinking that you have to kind of be so broad that anyone would feel comfortable joining you, when in fact, as soon as I abandoned that mindset, which was my first 6 months of coaching, right after I came back from that first summit I went to in 2014, I was like, wait a second. I actually don't want everyone on my team. I want to help people. I want to make a significant impact, but there's certain girls that I know that I will vibe with. And those are the people that I'm going to try to attract into my business. That's never made me a top recruiter in the company, but it has helped me duplicate layers of success on my team, because I'm attracting girls that I know how to help them, and I know what their concerns are and I know what their objections are, because I have the same objections. Exactly. It makes it so much more, I don't know if you actually said fun. I didn't even, more fun. Yeah, I was going to say it makes it more fun too, because like your entire vibe is attracting your tribe. I mean, we've all heard that before, but it really does. It makes it so much more fun because you have that, oh my gosh, me too, girl. And that's so powerful in this business, and that's so powerful in life in general. And so I think often, like, one of the things that's really helped through different seasons is to not be afraid to use the actual objections, like I said, that you had as a challenger, as a coach, and also the objections that you're hearing. If you're consistently hearing about cost objections, or you're consistently hearing about traveling, so I don't want to join a group because I'm traveling, you should probably talk about Beachbody On Demand. You should probably talk about how you fit this into your life. You should probably talk about how you're doing, you're packing your snacks in your car or in your purse when you go to the movie theater. I don't know, I do that, but whatever it is that you do, talking about how you fit this into your life. If you're someone who wants to attract someone who is concerned about joining your group because they don't think they can ever have a glass of wine in their life, then post a picture of you having a glass of wine and talk about your workouts too. Like, showing different aspects, almost like treating your public Facebook timeline as a sneak peek into your actual like what you actually do as a coach. Because so often we get really excited about coaching, and this has happened to me during all stages of my business, not just as a newer coach. But we get so excited and we start using all of this in-crowd verbiage, like hashtag give me all the yellows. I'm like, no one knows what that is besides us. Like, I think that's funny, and I see hashtags like that. I'm like, yeah, I love yellows too. I love carbs. Oh my gosh. But no one outside of us knows what that means. So like, if we say that terminology, like we think it's funny and our coaches think it's funny, and maybe all of our coaches comment on it like, oh, like I love yellows too. But the outside world that we're trying to attract into our business has no idea what that means. So I think it's always just like a conscious plug to think attraction marketing. That's what this business is. It's not sales ever. It's really attracting people that can connect with you authentically when you're authentically sharing your story, including your objections and including the objections that you get. And like, if you guys were friends with me on Facebook, you would see that I will actually use, this sounds weird, but it works really well. I use messages that I get from like challengers or prospective coaches. I use the actual verbiage that they used, and then I make it a public post. Like, I was chatting with a girl this morning who told me and I'll actually make that into a post, and then I'll say why I felt the same way, if that's true. I of course won't use their name, and I won't like make them feel uncomfortable or like make fun of them or anything like that. But I'll talk about it publicly, because I figure if that's the type of person that I'm connecting with, other people are going to feel that same way too, especially if I felt that way. So don't be afraid to do that, because it's so, so helpful, and it combats objections before you get them. It's like the secret sauce. And I'm sure you guys have heard this before, but it's just so helpful. Because a lot of times when I talk to coaches, they're nervous about objections. And for me, I'm not really nervous about that, because I accept that it's going to happen, and I kind of expect that they're going to have some objections. And what they expect is that they give you an objection and that you're just going to like shy away and be like, okay, well, talk to me next month then. But what I want to do is I want to understand more. Like I think of that as a challenge to seek to understand like more information about them and to get to know them on a better level. Because you better believe that if I can get in on their why, they're going to definitely connect with me more. They're going to be a long-term challenger. They're going to be a long-term coach. Or even if they don't end up doing Beachbody, I'm going to feel way better as a human that I really took that extra step to make them feel like they were in a challenge pack sale. I didn't send them a message and add them on Facebook just so I could invite them. But I took that extra step that when they said they don't have time right now, or when they said they don't have money, I can seek to understand a little bit more. Like, this actually just happened this morning to me. I was talking to this girl, and she told me that she was like, I'd love to join one of your groups. I just don't feel like I have the money for it right now. My husband and I are talking about moving. And I was like, oh my gosh, where are you guys moving to? I literally pretended like she didn't even give me an objection, right? And I'm talking to her more about their moving. She ends up telling me about just a huge like turning point that they're having in their marriage, and how it actually stems from her not being confident, and like all of this really personal stuff about her life. And did she join my challenge group yet? No. But do I feel way better that I actually asked her and gave her an outlet to be a sounding board for her serious issues that are going on? And do I think that in the future she'll absolutely join and could absolutely benefit from this community and from these products and programs? Hell yeah. And I feel way better about it. So even though she gave me a cost objection, because I took it one step further, I wasn't scared, because I knew that what we have to offer as coaches is really powerful. And if we take that one extra step, people feel that and they connect with you so much more. But instead, we often get in our head of like, oh, they're going to think I'm salesy. In fact, what about if you switched in your head and thought the opposite? If you don't seek to understand more information, maybe you are salesy. Maybe you are acting salesy if you don't seek that like deeper level to try and connect with them. Does that mean that you should talk to someone for like 3 years before they buy a challenge pack? I hope not. I haven't even been in this business for 3 years yet. So like, no, I hope not. But that does mean that you can seek to understand and get more information. And so, I don't know. I just think that that's been a really big thing, like with attraction marketing in general, is just really thinking about who that person is, sharing different slices of your life. And also one little like tidbit side thing that I was just talking with a coach before I got on this call about is I was telling her that I think part of the reason why she's having a difficult time in this business is because she's making it seem like rainbows and butterflies every single day. And she's killing her workouts on Facebook, and she's posting her like kale salads, and she's posting these clean eating, and she's like getting up at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. She's literally Beachbody billboard spam artist. And I told her that. And I was like, I love you so much that, and she knows that I'm a tough love person. I was like, I love you so much that I have to tell you that if I was following you, I wouldn't want to join your group because I would never be able to be that militant about my food, because that's just not me. So if you're trying to attract someone like that, there's going to be very few people that are going to connect with that. They're not going to connect with your story, and they're going to feel like you never fail, or you never mess up, or you never doubt yourself. Like, you've got to share the less than glamorous stuff, because keep in mind that I guarantee you, okay, actually, let's just do a poll here. I can't see how many like screens I can see here, but raise your hand if you were invited to a challenge group or a coach as a coach and you signed up within 10 minutes. Oh, I see one. Okay, so literally of all of these screens, I don't even know how many people are on this call. One person. I know I didn't. I said no for sure. So you've got to think about that too, is people are thinking this is too good to be true as a coaching job. That's what I thought, right? That this doesn't seem like a real job. Like, there's no way that you can get paid that much, love people, be crying all the time, posting selfies, have really cool outfits that you wear all day long, and go on cool trips. That's like not possible. So expect that people are going to think that way, right? And expect that they're going to think that way about your results. Like, it can't be that simple that she just like puts stuff in like a red container and all of a sudden she's super happy and she's like doing high kicks and the splits and she's got abs. Like, you have to think about the other people's perspective of what this is, and make sure that you're sharing those times that like you didn't want to do your workout because you, whatever reason, you didn't want to. Like, your kids were like throwing Legos at your face or whatever. I don't have kids, but like they probably do that. So like share kind of what's going on in your life, because it makes it so much more relatable, and people connect with people that have flaws and ups and downs. And don't be afraid that that's not going to attract people, because truthfully, you want people that you attract into this business that go into it expecting that it's not always going to be rainbows, butterflies, and lollipops every day, because they're not going to stick around if they go in with that expectation. And it's your job to show this was like the hard part, but this is how I got through it. Because now that I'm a coach, I have all of these coping mechanisms that I can like get through this now, because I do personal development and I have this team, and Joan hosts these awesome calls, and like I get pumped up by this random girl that's like sweating because our air conditioner's not working, you know, like whatever. Can we like, I don't know, can we turn that on? My boyfriend's over here just like, why are you talking about sweating? But I really am. Like, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so I think that just one thing to think about is that you always control that what you put out. You can't control people's perception of you ever, but you can control the content that you're putting out, and that attracts the people into your business that you're going to want in your business. And that will get you through the times that it's difficult, and the summer months when it's harder, or the no's that you get and the coach cancellations. Like, that stuff doesn't go away. And I know I thought as a newer coach, or even like my first year in the business, I thought that you would reach a certain level in your business. I actually talked about this when I spoke at Summit, where I said, if I thought that the people that were speaking at Summit were these people that were like aliens, where basically they would post a challenge group announcement and everyone and their cousin would want to join their challenge group. I thought that you didn't have to invite anymore once all of a sudden you like reach this level in your business. It's not true. Like, we all do the same thing. It's just you reach different levels in your business and you do certain things differently in terms of having a team. But everyone gets objections. Everyone gets coach cancellations. Everyone drops rank. Everyone has those things that happen in your business. So how are you going to weather the storm? You're going to attract the right people into your tribe that you're going to vibe so hard with, that you're going to love them so much, you're never going to want to quit even when it gets hard. And you're going to attract the right people into your business because you're going to be sharing different slices of your life. So you're going to have more fun. And fun attracts fun. Like, you know, this is why when I was talking to Joan over Messenger, I'm sending her voice message back. I'm like, I like this girl. Like, because you can tell someone's vibe right away. And I think that's really important, that you remember that you can control that part. You can't control a lot of things in this business, but you can control the message that you put out. So if you feel like you're not attracting business builders, you're probably not talking about the business. If you feel like you're not attracting people that want to build it, they probably don't think you can make any money because you're too scared to talk about income. Truth is, when you talk about it, people understand that it's like something that can supplement their life and help them. You have no idea what's going on behind closed doors with people. And I'm just like rambling. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. But one little thing is, one of my like top coaches on our team that has a really large organization underneath her, she has the biggest heart of anyone on the planet, but she signed up when I talked about making $200. And I actually had 4 of my current like 2-star and above diamond coaches that signed up from that exact same post when I talked about making $200. And the reason that all of them signed up wasn't because I was making thousands of dollars per week, and that's when I started talking about income. It was because I was like, I actually get paid for this, so no amount is too little, because people don't understand that you actually like can actually make money with this, that you can pay your car payment. If you covered your Shakeology, awesome, talk about that. If you just bought new boots, I'm like thinking about boots already and it's only August, but like if you just bought something or you paid for your kids like dance recital costume, talk about that. And a lot of times I think coaches think it's like, oh, it's not enough to talk about. It's always enough. In fact, I think it's easier to talk about income when you're not making as much income, because people can relate to that and they can see the realness and put themselves in your shoes of like, I wonder what it would be like to cover my groceries or to make an extra $40 when I love what I'm doing. And I think it's really important that we don't miss that huge part because we're scared to talk about income. And that's how you're going to attract a lot of business builders. And it's not because they're going to be greedy people that want to come in and say dollar bill or whatever, but it's because they're going to realize that they're going to invest their time into something, and they are also going to reap some financial benefits in addition to the fulfillment that you get from coaching. So if you don't talk about the business as a job, if you guys come from corporate backgrounds at all, I use conference call, or I use jargon that I would have used when I was in the corporate world because I'm trying to attract corporate hustlers like I was. So a lot of times I'll talk about business on times that maybe I would normally talk about something else, because I want them to understand, like, you do have to work in this job, but I don't want them to just see me like, you know, with a huge poster like the size of my face and be like, oh, this is all like fun and games. Like, I want them to also see I'm still working. So if you want to be a coach, you can have a giant poster the size of your face if you want, but you've got to do the work to get there. And so don't be afraid to talk about that and thinking that people aren't going to be attracted to this, because they're going to see the full picture. They're going to see your happiness, your fulfillment, your results, how much you love this community. They're going to see all of these aspects of your life. This is me trying to draw a circle. I was like driving a weird thing, but they're going to see all of these things and it's going to connect together, and they're going to know like you're the only you that is perfect for them in this business in whatever way that is. I don't know. Is that helpful? Okay. Oh yeah. I love dishes, head nods. Okay, cool. I thrive off of nonverbals. Perfect. I don't even know how long I'm going right now, but I could literally just keep going. How long do I have here?
I have no idea what time it is.
It's 10.
It's 10. So we typically go 30 minutes and then ask questions, but honestly, if you have more to share,
yeah, no, if you guys have questions, like the only thing I was going to say, like 2 minutes that I've been talking about often with my team is, if you're bored with anything that you're doing, like maybe you're 6 months into the business, a year into the business, further along, if you're bored in your challenge groups, revive your own challenge groups. Because if your business feels stale to you, this is for the more tenured coaches, because I think a lot of that is more geared towards newer coaches too. But if you feel stale, you need to revive something for yourself. Because if you're not having fun, people are going to feel that. And this business should be fun. I really don't think that there's any way that you can not, like, there's going to be things that go wrong. There's going to be coach cancellations. There's going to be whatever stuff with Beachbody, like customer service. I got shipped 2 bags of Shakeology when I ordered Beachbody Focus or whatever, which I was like, sweet, this is awesome. But you guys, stuff like that's going to happen. But if you're not having fun and you're not finding joy in the journey, like as you fail and as you post something, you're like, that didn't go the way that I thought, or I had this great challenge group idea and it didn't work out the way that I wanted. Just remember, like, you've got to find the fun and the joy in this. And this is like, for those of you that are color code people, like this is the yellow side of me that's talking, where it's like, you honestly should be having fun. And if you're not, I think reevaluate, like, why did you get into this business? What is it that drives you in this business and keeps you moving forward? And always tap into that. And for me, a lot of it comes from like sending weird voice messages. This sounds weird, but like sending like weird voice messages to my coaches. Like, I love doing that, which is such a weird thing, but I will incorporate that into my day because I love connecting with them in that way. So whatever it is, like, even if it's something really quirky, I don't know why I'm saying this, but I still get up every single time that I sell a challenge pack. I get up and do this like little like booty shake, and I've done it ever since I became a coach, and it keeps it fun for me. And I do it every single time. even after 2.5 years in the business. And I'm not joking. I literally do it every time. So whatever it is that just keeps things fun for you, make sure that you're doing that, because yes, there's going to be hard times in this business, but stick it out, you guys. Like, I mean, Joan can attest this. A lot of you guys, if you're on this call, your life has changed because of this business, right? In some way or another, whether you've been a coach for a day or you've been a coach for 5 years, it doesn't matter. I just think don't give up on yourself when things get hard. Don't give up because you don't have that vision of what this could look like for you, for your future, for your current family, and then for the trajectory of all of the people that won't get help if you decide to quit on yourself, or you let that coach with all of that potential. You can't control another person, but you can do the best that you can to plug into their why and make sure that you keep reminding them of that when they forget themselves, you guys. So that's all. I could ramble for days, but yeah.
It's not all. I think it was amazing, and I think it's exactly what everybody needed to hear and wanted to hear. I mean, you know, it's so fun. Ryan's like, you guys are so much alike. Like, even when you started coaching and everything. I'm like, yeah. But you say things that I say, but you're saying them in a completely different way. And so that, like, that helps people, you know? But one of the things I wanted to point out to everybody is when you started talking, you said that you just decided. You decided and you committed to, it doesn't matter how long it takes. My goal is to replace my income with this. And so I am just going to do it no matter how long or whatever comes in the way. And honestly, that was me too. It was just a decision of, I'm going to make this work because I want to leave my job, and that is what I'm going to do. And now we both have similar goals as well. Like, my next one is I want to retire Ryan from his. And so, and we've got a little bit of debt left. So we're working on that and then retiring him. So you have to just decide and put that in your brain, like what you want. And then that's it. That's the decision. And you just go for it. How do I change this so we can see people? So if they're asking questions, I can see them. Okay, here we go. I did have a couple questions for you too that I wrote down before we even started the call.
Yeah.
And so the first thing is, what were the sacrifices you made to be able to leave your corporate job within that, year and a half time frame?
Yeah. So I can share with you, I'll send you over Messenger my exact schedule that I had, and I broke it down because like I told you guys, I'm project manager background, so my brain worked in that structure. But what I think the biggest thing is I got myself into a routine that was so systematic it felt like brushing my teeth in the morning. I would get up at 5:15 and I did business related stuff for the first 45 minutes. I started my workout at 6 a.m. I did it from 6 to 6:30. I went directly into the shower while I was blow drying my hair. I was looking for quotes on Instagram. I plugged my headphones in. I listened to podcasts on my commute to work. I took the subway, so I didn't have to drive. So I had that time to do personal development. I tell my coaches, if you drive a car, do it in the car. When people say they don't have time for personal development, I'm literally like, you're so full of it. Like, do you not do dishes? Do you not do laundry? Do you not are you never what? You always have time for personal development. And if you don't do personal development, I don't believe that you will be able to build a business. I really don't even understand how anyone could do it, because there's so many times that all these weird things get in your head telling you that you can't do something, telling you you don't have time for this. It's that's all BS. It's total BS. But if you don't have personal development, it doesn't keep you in check. Side tangent. To answer your question, sacrifices I made. I stuck to a plan and I put my blinders on because I was so crystal clear on what I wanted. And it happened, I matched my income 7 months after I decided I was going to match my income. But I would have done it, I would have stuck in this to do this I would have done it for, what's the alternative? You make friends, you make some side income, you get in great shape, you are a better human, you're a better significant other, you're a better friend, you're a better daughter, you're a better whatever your roles are. What's the alternative? You quit and then you wonder what would have happened if I would have done it. Even if it takes 5 years to build a $100,000 business. For me, I had to get my business to a $100,000 point before I could quit. And so Beachbody doesn't guarantee whatever success, blah, blah. But honestly, you guys, it doesn't matter. Like Joan just said, put your freaking blinders on, because when you are crystal clear on what you want, let's not even put a time frame on it, because I would have literally stuck to this exact schedule and I would have done it for years, because now it's so worth it. And if someone were to take it all away and say, Kacia, you have to start back over again at square one, you better believe I would do it. And I would probably do it way faster because now I know what to do. But you guys, I would have done it all again. I would totally do it all again and start at zero with all of my coaches quitting and start back over, because it's so worth it. But you have to tap into that vision, because then all of the short-term sacrifices, and I say this all the time, but short-term sacrifices, they're a down payment on future abundant, beyond your wildest dreams, blessings. So you either pay the payment now, or you wonder what would have happened if you would have stayed consistent. But it comes from staying in it. The times that it's so easy, you guys have heard this all the time, compound effect to a T, but the times that it's so easy not to do it, the difference between if you're going to reach your goals or not is if you just decide to do it. It's those sending out that 10 friend request and those 3, we call them on our team, hey girl messages, like non-Beachbody messages, 3 invites. It's so easy to do that. So easy to it. But it's also so easy not to do it. It's so easy not to do a 25-minute, like a T25 workout, but it's 25 minutes. Are you freaking kidding me? Like anyone can do that. But the difference between if you're going to reach your goals or not is if you just do it. And you have to make the sacrifice that you can see the long-term vision and trust that the compound effect will work in your favor. And then what happens, and Joan, I'm sure, can attest this, and Ryan too, like all of a sudden you have this huge business and you're seeing this like duplicate in your downline, and it's the craziest thing ever. But you have to remember that at certain points in your business, it feels like you're pushing a giant monster truck tire up a hill. But I promise you, you're always going to have ups and downs. But once you get to that point where you start to get into your groove, it feels more like this than at the beginning. It feels like this, and you feel like any step you take back, that it's falling further down on you. Just keep moving forward, even if it's tiny, even if it's one post on Facebook, one invite. Like one of my top earners, she had to scale back a ton in terms of how many invites she did, and she consistently did it, and she's still here, right? And that's what it takes, is just that consistent pushing forward, no matter what it is. Yeah. I don't know if that answered your question. I will give you my exact schedule, though. It breaks down like non-Beachbody messages, this. Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah,
so,
I love that.
Yeah.
So we started off talking to you guys about how, Kacia had done this amazing retreat for her Diamond coaches, and we're about to do so. So we have, you have to be Diamond by the end of this month, basically. And so what I wanted to know is, number 1, if you're not Diamond right now, can you be Diamond by the end of this month? And number 2, is it worth it to push it and go? And what did you get, and what did your coaches get out of that retreat?
If you just signed up yesterday, you can be Diamond by the end of this month. It's literally just, are you doing it or are you not doing it? It's not like, can I, hope I can, wish I will, want to be there. It's like, are you going to be there or you're not going to be there? I really think it's that simple. Of course, it's not. Diamond is a huge milestone and it's an important goal to reach in your business, but it really is a decision of how many people are you going to connect with? How badly do you want to be there? And I will tell you, we had, it was invaluable for it was so amazing for our team to have all of these cross-team connections. Like everyone was like, it was so much crying and laughing and just like, it was so perfect. And it was everything I could have imagined because of the friendships that were built and the community. Because like I said, it's so important. Like you can be really close with someone that you talk with on a Zoom call on a regular basis, or you talk with on Facebook, but you cannot replace that in-person connection. And if you're there, you get that bonding with your team that literally nothing can compare to that, because it's people that are at the same place in their business that see the bigger picture. You're surrounding them all together. And it's like, I don't even know how to put it other than like something super like magical happens, for lack of like another non-corny word that I can't think of. But you guys, it's incredible. And if you want to be there, you have to decide, not tomorrow, not when it's convenient, not on Monday, not when the kids go back to school, not when you lose 10 pounds, not when country heat, blah, 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 whatever. None of that. Like literally you have to decide today on Monday, like I'm going to be at this retreat. I'm going to qualify. I'm going to write it in a Sharpie on a piece of paper. I'm going to put it on my wall, and I'm going to remind myself, I'm going to change the screensaver on my phone. I'm going to record a video right now when I get off this call that's like, you're a Diamond, you're going to be there. Like pump yourself up. I like Ja Rule. I don't know. Whatever it is for you, like do that, because you have to be there. Like you just decide. If that's what you want, you make it happen. And the fulfillment that you'll get from reaching a goal, that type of success that you'll feel, that how proud you're going to feel, that will trickle down into all of the people that you're going to attract. And plus it's a great attraction marketing thing. People are going to be like, what are they doing? Like on this cool retreat. So many of my coaches signed up, so many more coaches from being at the retreat because they talk about it, right? So there's an added bonus financial too.
What was the biggest hurdle or your biggest struggle that you've had yet in your business so far?
My biggest struggle was probably when I thought that I got comfortable. Basically, I got to this point in my business where I was like, you know what? I think I know what I'm doing. I don't want to change anything up. Like I'm good. I'm going to keep this the way that it is. But what I realized is this business, you're always growing. Everything's always changing. And I kind of put this lid on what I was capable as, in terms of I've reached all these goals. I did this. Now what? Now what do I need to do? And I think that happens whether your goal was emerald or your goal was diamond or your goal was $5,000 a week or your goal was quit your full-time job, whatever it is, you're always going to reach those goals. And that's putting a lid on yourself of what you're capable of if you just stop there. Like diamond is amazing. You need to be at this retreat. Absolutely. But diamond is a stepping stone toward whatever that bigger vision is. So you're doing yourself a disservice, and you're doing mankind, for that matter, a disservice if you play smaller than what you're capable of. And what I did is I got to a certain point and I got comfortable, and I was happy and I felt fulfilled. But I'm doing a disservice to people if I don't play it bigger. So I had to reach for a bigger goal, which was this $300,000 in the next 2 years. So that's one of my goals. But always seek the next level, because there's no good of being complacent. And if you're scared of what other people are going to think of you, you're really doing a disservice if you don't shine bright, if you don't think big. Like all of us are supposed to be doing big things. So if you play it small, you're only hurting yourself and everyone else that you can positively benefit. So you can't think that way. And Get the Big Leap. That's the book that I read when I totally got into this weird funk. It's by Gay Hendricks, and get it on Audible and listen to it while you're blow drying your hair. It's so good. If you have a lot of hair. I have so much, so I just I have a lot today.
Blow drying your hair.
Anyway.
All right. And I don't know if any of you guys had questions. I don't see any actual questions down here. So if you did have one and you want to ask real quick before we jump off, go ahead. But I have one last question for you, and it's based on I love how you said, if it's not fun, revamp, revive it, figure it out, change it up, make it fun for you, because other people can tell that too. And I do think that one of the questions that we all get a lot from our coaches is, what do you do if it's crickets in your challenge group? Or what do you do when your challenge groups aren't working well? Or how do you change that up? So do you have any tips or things that you have done to change them up that would maybe help other people who are feeling that way?
Yeah. So I do a lot of random challenges if I feel like people aren't engaged. So I always, when someone signs up for a challenge group, I ask them how I can call them out. Are they someone who wants to be text viciously? Do they want me to email them? I've never had anyone say email them. But do you want me to message them on Facebook? Can I aggressively call you out with emojis and just tag you on Facebook, in the private group? How do you want me to hold you accountable? So there's that. But when it feels stale, I'll just do a random challenge. So I'll go live in the group, or post a video before going live was a thing. And I would say stop, drop, and plank right now, wherever you are, drop a comment below, and I'm giving away a headband or something like that. So I'll do stuff like that often. Or I'll have them tag someone else as a little fun assignment. Tag someone that you don't know that's in the group. Go to the member section of the Facebook group and take someone else and call them out for them. Tell them why you think they're doing a good job and why you want them to get a 5 out of 5 on their workout today. So getting them to call each other out and then doing those random videos has worked really well for me. Or just making a competition randomly. So checking in with their workouts and being if I feel people aren't checking in, tagging someone saying hey, you two both have to do a 2-minute plank, random challenge. And then I just call them out. Cool. And that really does work because it keeps them on their toes, because then they're nervous that I'm going to call them out and make them do burpees or something, which I never do. But I always do planks. Or I'll do pick your favorite pump up dance song and do 20 squats and 15 push-ups and alternate between these different moves. I'll just make stuff up off the top of my head on a live video. And if you're nervous to do that, do it. Because if you're nervous, that's good. You're growing, right? We all want to do that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I think this is an amazing call. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you guys.
All the comments in here, you're rocking it, loving it. I mean, people love you. They're loving this whole call. It was amazing.
That could help.
So good. Awesome. All right. Cool. So thank you so much, Kacia. honestly, like everything you said was like everything I've been thinking lately and wanted to hear. And so I feel like it's one of those things, right? Like the universe just puts out there what you need when you need it. So it was really good stuff. I really appreciate it. I did record it, you guys. I will put it up in the page. She's going to send over the schedule. So I'll put that in the comment section after I post the video. So you don't have to be like, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I'm going to put it there. But again, thank you so much for your time tonight. I really
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
have an awesome rest of your week. Everybody else, you too. Go get them. It's cut month. Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. And
Yeah.
we out.
You want Jimmy jumps? That's what he did for